This is Basit. He has just done his record month. We've been working together for a few months and we wanted to sit down and have a chat, talk about his sales coaching business, exactly what he's worked on the last few months to hit that record month, break down everything so that you guys can get an insight into what a successful online business looks like. See you in the video.
Yeah, my name is Basit Oyebanji. I am 23 from Ireland. Currently in the online space, I'm closing, managing, and helping people also get into sales, mainly like athletes and 9-to-5ers.
Tell everyone about the move into the online space.
I've been in the online space now about officially, I'd say 16, 18 months. So I was in a 9-to-5, went to UCC, did commerce. My dad is an entrepreneur. I was like, this just isn't fun. I was working like remote customer service. And then I had a few mates that were already in the online space and they were like, I'm making X amount. And I was like, yeah, sure you are. And they showed me and I was like, fair enough, I can't fight it. Paid them, started making money. And then it just kind of like catalyst to it from there,
Yeah.
Bro.
Tell everyone about business. How's business going?
I think we spoke in December.
Yeah.
I had like arguably probably my worst month as a business owner. I think you said something that was like, you're exactly where you're meant to be based off of whatever beliefs, behaviors, or habits you have. And at the time, like when you said on, I was like, what?
I'm paying you, man. I hate you.
Like, what? But then like I went away from it and I was just like, what's the resistance? Like, what is it that I'm not doing that's led me to here? And I think over the last couple months, I've gotten really good at detaching from the monetary and the outcome and just being like, how can I just do so much more inputs that naturally the money will come? And I think that's kind of what I've been seeing now. Because of that energy, you kind of start to attract the right opportunities, people, things like that. And now I'm just really enjoying the process of becoming. And like now it's no longer, oh, I have to post content or it's like I get to.
Yeah.
Like it's been like a nice reframe for me.
That's cool.
I think I've always known this was possible. Like this was at least the end goal. But I think like a lot of people, it was like, one, I was in a different identity. So I just view myself as an athlete. Like that was my background for 12 years, track and field, right? And I think growing up in Ireland, you like hear about these stuff in like parables. It's like, oh, this person once upon a time. But it's never like, you can do this or just follow these steps, right? Or if they do know they can do it, it's like, oh, it's gonna be so hard. And what if it doesn't do this? So I think that kind of like weighed on me. Thankfully, my group back home, like they all got into online sales. So we normalized the risk. Obviously, started working with you, started like expanding my network, my circle. So like now this has become my normal, if that makes sense. So it's like now my problems is like, okay, cool. Why aren't we at 10, 20, 30, 40 instead of like, oh my God, why are we at 9-to-5? So now it's like being able to help athletes, maybe people in that 9-to-5 that have that growth mindset, but they don't have the vehicle, like giving them that platform through sales so they can also do similar things like this.
That's so cool. Yeah. I've never heard you say that before. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like the vision.
I love that. Yeah. I think all of these things are born so well out of like all of our like pain, mad experiences.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
It's just like you just make the world a slightly better place by solving someone's problem.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Solving a problem.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Just tell me more about how you're going to achieve that.
So naturally, that's led to the team growing. Yeah. So there's like 3/4 people now essentially involved in the day-to-day stuff. And it's made it fun as well, because now it's like, it's not just me, my business, yada, yada. It's like, I always use it, like it's we. I always reference it as we. Like, how do we X this, you know? Because it's like, it's a mission. It's bigger than just me, right? How do I plan to achieve that? I started speaking more to, I said it to you yesterday, like I've been speaking to like some Olympic athletes, some like rugby players, track athletes. 1, to understand their problem set, so like I can help them solve it. But 2, also just to like, it's the whole current state versus desired state, isn't it, right? Just seeing like, how does this fit into their life and solve their problem? I think that's essentially what sales is, right? It's just a conversation, 2 people, 1 common outcome. How do we both get from here to here? Do it well enough? It's just logical, right? Yeah. To want to move forward. So I have a goal of like 40 people minimum in the community. So it's 2.4 mil client rev for the year, which is minimum 40 people making 5K plus a month, which is, it's so doable. It's just so doable. Yeah. Right now it's been like, where do people fall in terms of hurdles? How can I just systemize that and speed it up so that the next person is able to bypass that? So that's kind of been like the focal point right now.
So we've got the mission, which is so cool. Then how do you feel as an entrepreneur who has changed within the last 6 to 12 months?
So it's been cool to see how I've grown and how I'm able to now pass on knowledge to people that were maybe in a similar position and just what it's done for their life, pretty much. You can probably relate to it. Like a catalyst of me meeting you was me also being able to help others, can also go on to help others. It's just like, the world becomes a better place.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? It's true. It's like it's all that chain reaction, but it's being around those people that cause those better chain reactions. Because I know I've been around people who, by me meeting them, I then end up influencing other people to do things they don't want to do, and it's like a negative compound effect as well. I think for a lot of people listening as well, like how in December, as you said, tough month. Like I remember a few conversations we had. Like, wow, like this is tough. How do you get through that? That was like the bottom of the valley of despair. It was like the bottom part of it.
That's true.
Because so many people will be watching this and be in that, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
When I had that really tough month, it was just like almost like a swing right into happen. And I think a lot of people view that as like a definitive, like, oh, it didn't work, I failed, like I'm a failure. And that becomes their self-identity. And then they stay to that. Whereas other people are like, this is rock bottom, it can't get any worse, like how do we bounce back? And thankfully I had people around me that helped me view it that way. But it was rough, I'll be honest. It was rough because it just brings back all of the fears, doubts, limitations. But I think I was just like, what's the alternative? Like, go back to a 9 to 5? I was like, no, that's a much worse reality. And I was like, God forbid, business goes bankrupt, I don't make any money. With the knowledge I have now, could I start again tomorrow and do it faster? Yeah. It's just like, what's really there to these, you know?
That is such a powerful thought process, because I had the exact same thing, and I'm like, but I realized that the wealth that we're accumulating, as in knowledge wealth, not financial wealth, is actually in our brains. And it's impossible to remove that. And the knowledge of sales, the knowledge of marketing, the knowledge of business is never going to go. It can't go wrong. Something awful might happen. You might lose all your money and go bankrupt. But if you've done it once, not like the world changes. Just do the whole thing again.
Do it again.
In anything in life, there's a success pyramid, right? So in general, the top is the desirable outcome, and very few people have that. And at the bottom is where most people are, and it's far away from that, right? So if we just talk about wealth, but it could be on any other plane, most people don't even have a business. Some people have a business, some people have a successful business. And I've just found that I've just been so shocked at like how much more lonely it is going up, because the problems that you have and the way that you think about business becomes very isolated.
You become unrelatable. The more you chase success, you can say, the more unrelatable you become in a sense. And then it's like, yes, you can easily block out external opinions, and I'm fine with it. But as you start to go up, there's always someone that's like, nah, mate, do you know what I mean? They want you to stay here, you know? But I think, when you get around the right people, no one doing more than you, like, is going to try and keep you down.
No.
You know? They're only going to have help, guidance, you know? So
my outgoings are like 35 to 40K a month before the month even starts. And like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, it's the problems that I would have prayed for 6 months ago. And that's what I think about, and that's what I remember. The pressure only gets bigger. It never gets easier. You just get better at dealing with the problems.
I think my opinion on money has changed a lot. That's probably been the biggest one. Now I just see money as like, it's not real. Like, money is just energy. Like, you're just trading energy. And it's kind of funny, at the dinner yesterday, you were speaking about, there's been like 3 of you that have just circulated between like, but like, that's all it is, you know? It's just like, this is valuable, here you go. And you're buying the energy, you're buying the frequency, you're buying the desire to change, you know?
The ideas around money, because I remember talking to my friends about like the price of my program, and they just cannot get their heads around it back home. Like, and fair, like, of course because when you trade time for money, and when that's the way you only see things as like how valuable an hour is. And it's impossible to then compare that, because you're comparing your physical time. But the problem is it's not on a plane of like labor or leverage. And that's the part that, like, again, that's very isolating. That's a good point. The difference is when we talk about the stages you go up, the way that people look at money and think about money. It was fascinating spending time with people who are just like so abundant, they don't even think about money. Like, it was the guy who like I take a lot of inspiration from, and was like, I was living with for a little bit, when he's coming into my room every day and saying he made 20K, 25K, 20K, 25K. I'm just sitting there like, every single day, like every day without fail. And I just like, it removed any fear of money, because I was just like, like, what is going on? Like, that is, even a year ago, to think about that much money, and he's just bringing that in.
I remember meeting him in Bali as well. I think you had said, you were like, oh yeah, he's just been playing Call of Duty all day. I was just like, I remember that, and then I met him and I was just like, it doesn't have to be hard. Like, it doesn't have to be hard.
I'm sure you found the same with the people like you're working with. Like, obviously they're super impressive what they've done, but it's not like they're any different.
Yeah, they're normal people. I like to think I'm smarter than some of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like they just have gotten rid of some fears that
Yeah.
I have that have led me, you know? I'm sure there's people watching this that at a different stage of the journey. If you were still like in your 9 to 5 and you had your corporate salary or whatever, let's just say like 2 months worth, what would you invest into now with that, like, I guess, like investment pool?
I promise you, I'm not just saying this because you're here. Sales.
Really?
I would 100%, like, because I went, that's what I did at the end of the day. Like, so to answer your question very directly, I would take my money, I would invest in someone to learn the skill as quickly as possible to get closer toward the outcome I wanted. And I then usually to work out what vehicle it is. For me, sales, game changer. I could only speak on my thing. I wanted to transition very quickly into being a business owner. So that was like the only caveat I'd say, is that it was a means to an end to be a business owner. But I think sales is better than anything. Marketing is like second, with sales being top. You?
That's interesting. I think I would just find the most successful person I know in whatever way I can get access to them and literally just like scrutinize, like, what do they do differently to me. So I try and find that person and just invest into them and just play them, just bombard them with as many questions as possible, just actively putting myself in a circle that it's normal earlier, because I think that, like, having that as a day-to-day, it'll just help you eradicate the fears a lot quicker.
In terms of, like, you said about being in a community.
Yes.
I see you being like one of the most active people in the wins channel, not only just collecting wins, but also like celebrating others' wins, which is, I think, so cool. Because I think if you clap for other people, you get clapped for at some point.
100%.
What has being in a community been like for you?
I actually thought about this a lot. I don't know if I said to you, but I think that's probably one of the most valuable things I've gained, because it's like, some days I'll wake up and I speak about productivity, but some days you're just not motivated, right? And I'll like go on my phone and I'll see in the wins chat, and it's like, yeah, it just goes on my times 37K deal from the, I'm just like, yeah, back to work. Back to work.
The 37K piff is just ridiculous.
And he's just so casual. I'm just like, yeah, back to work. But no, it's been really good, because I think everyone's on a similar energy. Like, there's no one that is like, oh, he won and I didn't. It's always like, well done, like, good to see. And like, there's some people that like, they'll message me personally and they'll be like, I'm really excited for you, man, or we'll hop on a call or something like that. And I think entrepreneurship itself can be a lonely game. So it's like surrounding yourself with, one, people that understand it, but two, people that genuinely just want the best for you. It's like really, it's heartwarming. And then their wins feel like your wins as well, you know? And like, when people celebrate your wins, it's like that positive reinforcement, isn't it?
I love that.
Yeah, keep going.
I love that. And I love that also it's the same, because you contribute to that as much as you get from it. And it's like, everyone who is active in the wins channel seems to be the people winning. It's so interesting, isn't it? It's fascinating. I'm so interested by this. It was so funny that we had like a few this is hard conversations. And then just maybe a week after, it was cascading thing. What do you think helped during that period?
I think subconsciously, we all know the answers. Right? Like, we all know to a level. Like, I'm not happy in my job 9 to 5. Okay, quick, get a different job. Everyone knows, right? But what stops us is our own self-image, in a sense, and also what we believe is like possible. I think for me, there was a fear I had to push past, which was like, okay, cool, but what happens when it does go well? What happens when there's a team? What happens what if 10 people want to sign up tomorrow? Like, could you handle that? And I think it was that, like, we're wired to avoid future pain and current. I think it was like those thoughts, and instead of addressing them, I was just pushing them further down the line. And subconsciously, that was probably manifested into like pushing all the inputs that would bring that outcome. And then I think when it became hard, it was like that whole thought process was no longer just there. It was like, this is here right now. Like, what do we do now? And you said it on the call yesterday. I was like, just moving with speed. Now, instead of like sweeping someone under the carpet, I force myself to face it head on. I'm just like, why did this happen? How did I fix it? How didn't I fix it? What did this cause me? I
always remember specific chats that I have with people. I remember chatting to you while I was like outside of my place in Bali. And it was just, you were like, this content thing, I can't get my head around.
I remember. It's so weird, because like, I remember that vividly. It's like, I knew what to do. I knew, but I was meant to post content or film content, and then I looked, I was like, oh, it's raining outside. I can't film content. Oh. Do you know what I mean? It was one of them ones, and I was just like, I'm finding ways to give myself a barrier. And then I remember we had that conversation, and it was just like, just post content, like just like post content. But like that's probably what you mean by it's like you just overcame that fear.
Yeah.
And it's more so I wasn't fully ready to let go of that, like that barrier. Like I was half in between it. I think it relates back to that whole like you're seen then, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Like your failures on public, your wins on public, everything's in public. But now I'm just like, hey guys,
Yeah. It's so
people too much now. But
what would you tell someone who's scared of starting and actually like jumping in and building a business?
it's like, what are you afraid of? It's like the money. The money's real. Like it's just like money's not even there. Don't look at it as what am I losing? Because I think most people it's like loss aversion, or I'm losing money, I'm losing this, as opposed to like what am I gaining? Even if it's not even the product itself, like what am I gaining as a person? What am I gaining in terms of my understanding, my self-conviction, my self-trust, the people I have access to, like the potential memories. Like when we went into that gym, I said to Dira, I was like, we are buying access to the frequency of all of these people that can open up so many different worlds, you know. And then I had someone asking me about sales, this and that, you know what I mean? In a couple months of working with someone that thinks like that normally, imagine what you could gain then, because it's just like fear and faith are the same thing. It's just what way do we choose to look at the things, you know?
I love that. It's like, what if it goes well?
Yeah.
Why does everyone think, what if it goes bad? Just like, what if it goes well?